Ladies and gentlemen, as we spin out of this pandemic, well, at least it looked like we were spinning out of this pandemic. Nevertheless, as we try to spin out of this pandemic, we know that restaurants, beaches, sporting events, concerts, and travel have opened more and more. Now, concerning travel, there is one destination in the U.S. that is gathering steam among sequestered victims, and that is good old Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin City, as they call it, inside the state of Nevada, the Silver State. And on this episode, I will speak about some unknown realities about Las Vegas, both good and bad, and just how sinister predatory elements under the same lock and key have emerged from their hibernation and are wreaking havoc on innocent citizens from all over who have become victims of letting their guard down. The heat of Las Vegas, Nevada is today's topic on the Fabulous Form Factor, coming up next.
Want to hear something fabulous? Broadcast in a forum and full of facts? Well, you've come to the right place. It's the Fabulous Forum Factor podcast with all its pizzazz. And now here's your host, Mr. Kenneth Moultrie.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Fabulous Forum Factor. And I'm your host, Mr. Kenneth Anthony Moultrie, here on this Thursday, September 16th, 2021. As I rapidly approach episode number 100, I always kindly ask for your continued support as you follow, comment, like, subscribe, and share this or any episode I produce with your social media family. And incidentally, there is an email associated with all this madness. And although it's long, it's very, very simple. And it is fabulousformfactor@gmail.com. What else would you say my email address to this podcast is? So what has been going on in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, the last 3 or 4 years? What has been going on in Sin City besides the lockdown and the closure, or not so much closure, but just the inactivity of normal Las Vegas, as now we come out of, or try to come out of, what we've been in for the last year and a half. Las Vegas is really opening back up, and in a big way. And I live about 3 hours south of Las Vegas by car, and I've been living in this particular area for the last 20 or so years. So it's been nothing for me to get up to Las Vegas very, very quick. And all the times that I've been going to Vegas in past years, I've always had this sense of protection. Although it's filled with people on the strip, it's filled with people inside hotels and casinos, I've always just had this feeling of protection because I know everybody was there to party, get married, to drink, to have fun, to get lost, to get well, whatever. You know what they say. Whatever doesn't happen in Vegas stays your fault, or what happens in your room nobody needs to know about, or something like that. Nevertheless, this feeling of being safe always carried with me. And I never realized, believe it or not, I mean, you knew in the back of your mind, but you never realized that there was an actual residential area or a normal part of Las Vegas. Yeah, they do. They actually have grocery stores, malls, gas stations, liquor stores, schools, small restaurants, McDonald's, Burger Kings. They actually do have one little eatery that I want to tell you about. It's called the Hush Puppy. They actually have two. Seafood, kind of a buffet, sit down, probably $25 a person. I would recommend the Hush Puppy to any person from out of town who wants to eat some actual Las Vegas food that is not on the Strip. But I do not want to get off into that because food is one of the things I do think about most than any other subject. But the Hush Puppy, remember that in Las Vegas, there are 2 of them. Google it. But there are different places outside the Strip. And so like I said, when you kind of walk at night, you're walking 2, 3 in the morning. There's women walking that late, sometimes in, obviously in 2s and 3s and whatnot. But that has not stopped that criminal element that has emerged inside of Las Vegas more so now than they have before. And they're getting help from their California friends who have now come up to Las Vegas and have joined the party, so to say, the criminal party that they know people are coming out of being hibernated for the last year and a half. They want to spend money. They want to do all those things I mentioned above, right? And so you have the predators, the bears waiting at the bottom of the salmon stream, ready to eat the fish that come up there and try to have themselves a good time. And as you walk around Las Vegas, there are, on the Strip mainly, there are many distractions. Now, the distractions are not intended for this particular subject that I'm talking about. The outdoor attractions like the magic shows, the 3-card Monte that they're doing, the shell games, and all the little hustle games that people are doing on the streets, they're for the capitalism of their own well-being. I get that, but that element will use those particular sideshows to capitalize on people who are not paying attention, who are, just in their own little world and thinking like I thought, ladies and gentlemen, years and years ago, that everybody that walked on the Strip was there for a good time. Now, this criminal activity that's going on in Las Vegas is happening both outside hotel rooms and inside hotel rooms. Want to know what I'm talking about? Ambria and Justin Luajon were recent visitors actually, to the well-respected Wynn and Encore hotels and casino earlier this year. They share a very unusual and head-scratching story. Listen.
We decided to take off on New Year's Day just for a little mini vacation for the weekend. And we are very used to staying at the Wynn. It's kind of been our favorite place.
It was their first vacation since the pandemic broke out.
And an opportunity to do something after being sheltered for such a long time during the quarantine of 2020. So,
due to restaurant restrictions in early January, they ordered room service. When they were done,
took the tray outside.
Ambria did the same thing she does every night at home before going to bed.
Take my rings, my watch, any jewelry, and set it all in one spot.
When she awoke the next morning, she walked a few yards to the kitchen area where she left everything.
And I went to go put on my wedding ring, and it's not there.
And that's when I noticed my stuff was gone too. Then I realized, wait a minute. Where's my watch?
That was gone too, as was all their cash from the previous night. A $37,000 loss, according to the police report, including their Rolex watches and Ambria's ring, right out from under their sleeping noses.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I played this particular story here and let you hear what was going on and what they claim to have happened to them is because I do want to highlight the subject matter that I am bringing to you on this episode, and that is crime in Vegas, both inside hotel rooms and outside hotel rooms. But before I go on, I do want to mention about this particular story that you heard. Now, there is some, let's say, skepticism, whatever that word means, right, about their story. Now, this is a well-to-do couple. Now, if you all don't know about the Encore and the Wynn, there are two hotels that are actually together. The Encore is the part where the hotel rooms are, and the Wynn is where you do all your gambling, eating, food, and stuff like that. Or maybe it's vice versa. I don't know. But there are very, very elegant places up on the Las Vegas chain of command, so to say. And this married couple is a well-to-do looking couple. I mean, she is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. He is a handsome dash rip rock type of looking guy. You know, they got a lot of things going on. Now they're staying in the Wynn, and they are staying in this particular suite. So the bedrooms have their own sectional part. You know, it's not just one, flat area, right? So they're saying that they stayed up and they had food and drinks. They came in for a little while. They took off their jewelry and whatnot and went inside the bedroom and went to sleep. And then the crime happened to where all these items were stolen. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying that, why would you close the door to a bedroom where you're the only two in there? And so I don't know. It's I like I said, I don't want to get off to saying that whether they're telling the truth or not, but that's a whole different subject in itself. But what I am saying though is that they claim to have gone into a secure room in one of the most prestigious hotels and casinos in Las Vegas. And they go into their room and they lock the door. They even put I guess they put the double lock. Now, he did say that there was not a latch lock that goes down. And a lot of times, if you notice, and I don't know why this is, but in Las Vegas, most of the rooms, they have a kind of a gap between the floor and the bottom of the door where you can probably actually slip maybe a wallet under there or something like that. So people are saying that they do have these mechanisms or these gadgets where you can slide them under the door and pull down the door from the inside. That way, at the desk, that does show every time that a person goes in and out and what particular time, that it will show that there was an entry or actually an exit and the door was open from the inside. But nevertheless, a lot of things of this nature are going on. And whether it's the staff that's doing it, whether it's outsiders, maybe there's a staff member that maybe is on their last days and really don't care, and they know all the ins and outs of this particular hotel. But it has become very, very dangerous now. It's not safe, even in places like the Wynn. It's not safe to stay in your room, lock the door, and think that you're going to be cool till the next morning. You know what I would do? I would just hire, I think a good business to start, ladies and gentlemen, and I've been thinking about this. I would just get a pit bull business, right? And then just have the pit bulls, like people who are not feeling safe or they don't want to feel safe in their room, just hire I think I'll have a business kind of like next door to all these hotels and casinos, and just like you can rent 2 pit bulls, right? Keep one by the door and keep one by your bed, right? And in case somebody come in, I don't have to tell you what's going to happen. It's not going to turn out well for the intruder, right? Something has to be done about what's going on in these hotels in Las Vegas because they are getting people all kinds of ways, right? Now, the cameras, most of the time in Vegas, are invested on the floor where all the money is, right? So in a sense, a lot of people have testified and have commented that they've worked in Vegas many years at these hotels and whatnot. And it doesn't seem to them that they care too much, that the hotel does not care too much about their visitors or their guests. They only really care about the money. And in a lot of cases, when people have filed lawsuits and whatnot, they've actually been paid under the table or without fanfare, so they would not tarnish their reputation, the hotel's reputation. So a lot of that's going on. And like I said, it can be a very, very false sense of security because you think that everybody is up there in Vegas to do all those fun things, and you lose thought that there is a real town outside the Las Vegas Strip. So yeah, that can happen. The many times that I see, people, men and women, walking around to their cars and alleys and whatnot. And if you